right, so let's bring on Jennifer. She's Student Showcase and she just bought her very first deal. So let's hear your story, Jennifer.
All right. Hello, everybody. I'm going to share my screen so you can see the facility. But first, I thought I would just kind of start off with some introductory information. We joined Storage Nerds in January, and I called, I think, 10 to 12 owners, and I was getting no. And then, I called somebody. Well, okay, so I called 10 owners before getting a verbal agreement on a facility in March is when we got the verbal agreement. The settlement attorney was running for judge, so he wasn't doing any lawyering. So we ended up closing on July the 7th. So we're just new in there. And the way we found our units, I used a combination of the Google Maps and the driving for storage. We wanted to find something within an hour of where we live because we're new at this and we wanted to be able to be close enough to get to the facility if we needed to. And so this one is that. And let me just share my screen here. Okay.
Yeah, and I want to point out too that she was like, Jennifer's like, I only want something within 1 hour. So how many storage facilities, and tell everybody where you're located and how many storage facilities are within 1 hour from you?
Oh my goodness, surprisingly, there were a lot, Stacy. I don't even remember offhand. I have so what I did in my Google folder, I had storage prospects as a folder, and that's everybody we're looking at that hasn't said no. And then I have bed deals, as in, ones that are for sure a no. So I've separated them out, and then purchase deals. So, and I don't know offhand, but there's a lot. And they're all full, which is crazy. But this is here a shot from Google Maps. This is the facility right here. It's on a little over an acre. And this is a main avenue is what it's called. So it's a good location and on 2 roads. It is a 69 unit facility. It's at 100 capacity. There's I think 9420 is the square foot on that. The income on it was $51,240 a year. And so just some things here. This here is actually a shipping container, and we're going to get rid of that. This is the owner's RV, and he's going to rent that space from us. This is a mobile home, which is crazy. And so we asked him to get rid of the mobile home and the person living in there, because this is a space we could have storage units. This is a storage unit here. This is kind of the city water utility thing right there that they have access to on our property. This building here was a mini market until Walmart came into town and they closed that. What he did, he took away the air conditioning and he just made this storage units. The compressor is still there, and I'm just thinking that maybe I could turn it into climate controlled storage for people. So that's something we would have to do an analysis to see, is there a demand for that, in this area? So I want to show you, well, and maybe before I do that, let me just say this. I think there were 3 keys to us getting this facility. And I want to tell you the story of how this worked. I called the man and asked if, we looked at it, and then I called him and asked if he wanted to sell. And he said, oh no, lots of people ask me all the time if I want to sell. I don't want to sell. He says, it would have to be an exorbitant amount of money. And so I was persistent, and I caught that. It's kind of like he opened the door crack and I pushed it open, and I said, well, how much? And he said, well, $400,000. And I was like, oh, well, that's a lot of money, but let me think about it. Now, actually, I believe 400,000 is a good amount of money for a facility that has space. We could build more units right here. We could build some more units here. We can build when this goes out. So I said to him, well, can we just stop by and meet you and look at the facility? No commitments. Can we just stop by? He says, well, I guess it wouldn't hurt. And we went there, and here's the second key: relationship. We spoke to him for 2 hours at this facility, just standing in the little office that's right here for 2 hours. And probably we talked about storage and business things for maybe 15 minutes of that time. The rest of the time was just getting to know each other, him telling us about his family, and his father used to own this, and his health condition, and his kids and what they're doing, but nothing to do with storage. But I think this is important in a tertiary market, especially, is to have that relationship, for them to know who you are. Would I feel comfortable giving my baby to this person? So at the end of that, so remember, he went from saying absolutely not, lots of people have asked me to sell, to no, it'd have to be a lot of money, to okay, you can come look at it. And then at that meeting, I said, well, can we send you an offer? And so he said that we could. And so here's the magic letter that Stacy has given us the framework for.
Before you do that, can we go over the deal analyzer you have?
Yeah, we could do that.
Let's do that. Let's look at the deal analyzer. And also tell everybody where this is at, because you never said it where it is. Okay. So it's in Unicall, Tennessee.
This is in actually it's that is wrong. It's in Irwin, Tennessee. It's in Unicoi County, which is the northeastern part of Tennessee. There's an interstate that runs very close to this. I think it's 26, which is really nice to have that nearby. We think it's a great location. But so here's, he said that 400,000. So here we put that price in there, and we asked for an interest rate of 4%. And that was before interest rates started rising. By the time we closed, interest rates were higher, but he honored that 4% that he verbally said would be okay. So, and we have it set up for 10 years to have it paid off. So I put cap rate of 10% is really very much, you saw the picture on the Google Earth, very much the
10% cap rate is like, that's a great cap rate.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm accurate about it, but it is definitely a tertiary market. So, and here you can see
what's the population of the city.
Let me look that
up. Or the area, or maybe like within a 10-mile radius or something. I'm not sure if you looked it up.
Yeah. Hold on, just.
But honestly, the truth is nobody gets anything at a 10 cap for an income producing property, except for you. You're like amazing. Actually, the truth is if you ask for it, you'll probably, you'll probably get it, but you may get it. So a lot of people feel like they have to ask for like 8 or 6 cap because they feel like they're like hurting the owner's feelings and stuff.
And honestly, I didn't even mention cap rate to him. So, but the population of Irwin is 6,083. And there are a number, I don't know if I have it on this one. There's these 3 storage facilities, and there is yet another new one being made. So I think it's a lot of storage facilities for the area, but it's full, like every place is full except this new place. They're charging like twice as much as everyone else, and they have some vacancies, which does tell me I can raise the rate some. So let's see here. I didn't put any price down for software because I wasn't sure whether we were going to manage this manually or not, as just only having one. I do have a meeting set up with Jennifer, actually later today from storage, And so we're just going to hear everything she can do. I have a meeting set up with Guy also today about setting up a website. I've built websites before, but I just want to see what he could do. Maybe I want him to do it because he's a professional at it. So, but interesting, if you see the valuation, the current valuation on this is $490,800, and we bought it for 400. And then, you know, over time, I think we're paying 425,000, something like that over, you know, because over the 10 years with interest. So, anyway.
And just by raising it 3 cents from 50 to 53 cents, what did you put for the is the after updates just includes the 53 cents, right?
Yeah, that doesn't include building on these other buildings that we want to do.
Yeah, so just by raising it 3 cents, you're increasing it to 550,000. But the truth is honestly, this is worth like change that 10% to an 8 cap.
Okay. Oh, you know what? I don't know if I can do that on my Google Drive. Can I do that?
I think you should be able to. Just give it a try.
I don't know if it'll we'll see here if it'll let. Oh yeah, I can. Okay.
Yeah, I'll just write it because honestly, the truth is that even if you wanted to sell this at an 8 cap, you probably could later. See, it's worth $687,000, right? Once you get and honestly, the truth is most likely over the course of the next couple of years, you'll probably increase the rent per square foot even higher than 53 cents.
Yeah, definitely we will. And I think, you know, and the other, what I'm trying to do is just balance between the reality of the economy right now and the reality that the current prices are low. You know, I think that they probably
you want to keep track of the competition and what they're charging too. Okay,
because right now we are kind of on the low end of the competition, so we could move up and still be okay, but we want to make some improvements before we do that. There's no cameras, no security. We need to do that. Yeah, it's just no gate, no camera, no nothing. So this is
a great deal. I already knew it was a great deal, but it's a great deal. So let's look at the offer. What did you put for the offer letter? How did this kind of go?
So let me find that. Let me get this thing out of the way here. Hold on. Okay. All right. I need to move this off my screen. Okay. Can you see that? So we offered him these options, the cap of $400,000 owner financing number 1, which was $100,000 down, so 25% down, and then the $300,000 paid over 10 years at 4%. Okay, and then financing offer 2, we would do $150,000 down and 200,000 down. Now, what happened was after we met him that day, and I asked if I could send him an offer letter, I sent that, and he said, you know. And now he's been recently diagnosed with an autoimmune condition, and he got to thinking, you know, maybe what's better for me is to have my wife have like a source of income for a little while, but not have to deal with the storage units. So this was the offer that intrigued him, was the one where he got the most amount of money each month over the 10 years. So it was 20% down.
Breaking up just a little bit, just so you know.
I'm sorry?
I said you're breaking up just a little bit.
Well, you know, and we have internet problems here too in the Tennessee mountains. I don't know.
Well, I totally get it. Okay, good. So you said, so he ended up taking the owner financing offer number 1 is what because he wanted that monthly payment for his wife just in case.
He wanted that because you could see the monthly payment is over $3,000 with this deal. He wanted that one.
Yes. So what did he say about the magic letter? So how was the negotiation? How did it work?
Yeah. So he he called me back and he said, I showed your letter to 3 of my friends and they all said I should sell. So that was like, I was so excited because I felt like, man, I've been working hard, calling everybody. Nobody wants to sell. But so, and he just, yeah, he says, and I think he says, and I want to do the offer number 1. And so that was that. Like, it was a pretty simple deal once he, I mean, like this letter just really showed it all. Cause you look at the bottom line here, that's pretty nice, you know, over time. So, yeah, he really liked that. And, you know, and I'll say this too about relationship. There's this other person that I called, that I really would like to buy her facility. And she said, oh, you know, I had it sold and then I just wigged out and I couldn't sell it. I just didn't want to. And then I said, well, can I just send you my information and you have it? And if anything changes, you know, you can let me know. She said, oh, sure. And I said, and can I also call you in a couple of months just to see how, you know, how you're feeling about this? She says, that's fine. I called her back and she said, oh, you know, I am getting older and maybe I should sell. I don't know. And da, da, da. And I called her again. She said, you know, I have these hip problems and I have had so much problems with my health. I hadn't had time to think about the storage units, but you know, I just keep calling her and we have this relationship. And I think one day she'll sell me her facility, you know? So
I wish
just
you
wanna-
could get the information from her, because if you send her this letter, she would be able to take a look at it and think of it.
I
Your
know.
job for that facility is to, did you send her an offer? I can't remember.
No, because I don't
Yeah.
have, I don't know what she's earning on. I don't know anything about it. You know, I mean,
Just
like I know
ask
I
her,
can
like,
drive
ask
by.
her the very few things that you need, right? So you need the purchase agreement, you know, for the Dale analyzer. Just say, look, all I really need is 6 things. Like, if you give me these 6 things, I can at least send you an offer,
Yeah, yeah.
right? You
You know,
know, and
that's a
then you,
good idea. I will call her back and do that because that's one I'm thinking of. And but you know, and I'm just not sure whether what I want to do next, whether I want to build onto the place we have, you know, money wise, what makes the most sense to build onto what we have or to buy another one. And what's that?
both.
I might have to tap into one of your money people.
That's
So yeah,
good, yeah.
anyway, it's been a great experience. And I have to say that, you know, it's just following Stacy's protocol and the deal analyzer was wonderful to be able to get a comfort level on, you know, making an offer, knowing kind of what it's worth and if it's a good offer that I make. Where we are now, I need to get some, you know, security in there. And I don't want to have an office in there. So I have no reason for internet. I don't want to pay for that. I don't know if you've ever, I've run a business before and my experience is if you're an individual and you want internet, it costs this much. If you're a business, it costs this much just because you're a business. So I want to get a security camera system in there that doesn't require the cloud, but that has enough storage for, you know, a couple weeks at least on there. So if anyone has had experience with that and wants to shoot me a PM either on Facebook or message me on here, you know, that's kind of where we are now, looking for that system.
So now that you've closed on this, like, so you went through the closing. How did the closing go?
Easy peasy. Like it was nice. It was like meeting with an old friend because we had met with him and talked with him for so long. It went really well. What we decided. So, oh, I got to show, you're going to get a kick out of this. Let me show you this. Okay. Hold on. Here's the software system. You ready? This is how he tracked things. Okay. And so he has only phone numbers for these people. And some of the phone numbers have changed. Like, and he's just like, well, as long as they put their money in this slot every month, I'm good to go. So we have asked him to get full contact information for all the people. So what we decided is, although we have the deed right now, we are going to do like an August 1st date of when we start paying him. and to give him time to gather all the information, to give him time to get this lady in the trailer moved out. And it seems like it might take her a little bit longer, and that's reasonable, you know, to give her 30 days. So we are letting him kind of run it right now until August the 1st.
Yeah, I mean, just work with him. I mean, this is exactly the same type of facility I bought. So like, these people, like, they just have no records. You have to just work with them. You have to get a hold, try to get help them to get, you can at least get in contact with the ones that, like, you know, like, I would try to call everybody and see, like, you know, who you're missing and start going through all that, you know, and then all the ones that
Yes.
you're missing, work with him to try to get in touch with everybody. It's going to take, the first 90 days are going to be a little chaotic, especially with this type of facility.
I think
Yeah.
so. And, you know, and there's going to be so much, you spoke before on one of the webinars about training the clients, and there's going to be so much of that. I mean, right now, the guy who does the yard work, in exchange for doing the yard work, he gets to keep stuff. He gets to keep the contents of storage units that haven't paid. Like, there's no, like, they just overlock it and keep the stuff. So I think legally you have to have an auction.
Yeah, you have
So
to have
that's
an
going to
auction. You
change.
definitely have to have an auction. Yeah. So like, you're gonna definitely come
Yeah.
in and clean this place up. This place is gonna be worth a lot of money when you're done. I mean, this is a very good mismanaged facility. You got a great deal on it, but now you just have to work through the owner transfer. But what I would do too, did Pete talk to you about doing the letter? You sent the letter, the owner transfer letter, and then also he sends the owner transfer letter, but you send it for him, right?
Well, but the problem is he doesn't have the addresses. So what he wants to do is call the people and tell them in person
So
that
he
he's
doesn't have
selling.
addresses for
And
any of them?
so, no, he
Oh,
only
okay,
has
got it.
phone numbers.
That's
So
funny.
he's
He only has
calling,
phone
and he
numbers.
wants to have, and some of these people he has personal relationships, some not, but he wants to call them and just say in person, this is, you know, I'm selling to these people, blah, blah, blah. So he's going to do his thing. We will follow up with our letter, but I'm going to call them and do a letter because that's just how I am. I want to have like that
Yeah,
personal
no, you should
connection.
definitely do
But
both. And when you talk to them, ask them for their email address, because you are
yes,
going to need the email address, all right?
yes.
And I would say 80%, 80 to 90% are gonna have email addresses. Say, look, you know, it's Jennifer, like, I'm the new owner, like, we're trying to sort through all this stuff. Oh, so this is what the pictures look like?
Yeah, I wanted to show you the building. So here's one, and you can see right here, there's some space between the cement and the ground. So we have to do some fill in there. We've got to shore that up, you know. There were maybe just a couple latches that looked like they needed updating. This one is different. It's not the steel building. But he's got 10 by 10s here, and I think he's got 5 by 5s on the other side. So he currently, and this needs to be moved out. Here's the look from the main street. Here's the facility. But yeah, we're going to bring in more gravel and, you know, update kind of the parking lot, you know, where you drive. We're going to update that some. But otherwise, you know, it's in pretty good condition. I wanted to get those poles that can protect the corners of buildings. He doesn't have any of those on there. And I think
Yeah, what are those called? I forgot what those are called.
I don't know. Does anyone know? Because I was going to Google it.
I should know this, right? Because I'm just, what are these called? On the corner? The bollards. Thank you. Yes,
What
the
are they
bollard.
called?
Thank you.
What?
Everybody's hopping in. Everybody knows that. Okay.
No, what are they called? I didn't hear you.
Bollards, the bollards, or is the ball. If you were in Georgia, it'd be ballards, but I don't know if it's bollards.
Ballad, like a ballad
with an R in it. With an R in it.
Oh,
Bollards.
ballard. Gotcha.
Ballards.
Okay.
The ballards. Yes, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, I need
Yeah.
some ballards.
get some good ones, because you know they just, that's the one thing that you're always fixing is those damn corners. So
Yeah.
like I've seen railroad ties, like a good post. We've put like telephone poles up, because we have like, if it's like tight, you want to have really good ballards there, right? If there's like a lot of room, because a lot of times the new ones are now like, 20 feet, in space. But like in the back in the day, they're like 10 or 15, because when you're turning those corners, those big trucks, they come and just knock your corners and stuff. So if it's tight, then you want to have like a really big, bulky ballard. If it's kind of
Okay.
farther away, then you can go with like, the cement little ones everybody kind of has. Okay.
Okay.
So
That's,
again, or tell me again what this building here is. This
uh,
white building, I forgot what this is, like office, or what is inside of that?
so right here is a little tiny office, okay?
Uh-huh.
This used to be a mini mart, but
Okay.
he has turned it all into storage inside there.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay, good.
Yeah.
So that's good. Okay.
And I'm thinking of maybe doing climate controlled. There's still a compressor there. He unhooked it, but there's a compressor there, and it's a little rusty. I don't know if it's any good. But what we're going to do, there's a space in the back we're going to use for our supplies. Or no, I'm sorry, we're going to use this office is a little space for our supplies. We're not going to have an office. We're going to put our supplies
Yeah,
we
just
need
put
to
all
run
your
it
stuff
here
in there.
on
That's perfect.
stuff.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
That's a
and
very
then we
good
can
idea.
open up
Then you don't have to
another
waste any of
storage.
your units.
Right, right. And then
Yeah.
we actually end up opening up a unit in the back that he currently has his stuff in.
But I feel
So,
like that front of that building is a very good place for you to have a sign. Like I maybe put the number at the top and then your sign underneath.
and a sign here, a sign
Yeah,
here, and a number
yeah, that's
here.
right. Like your number
Yeah,
should be right
yeah.
there, and then like your sign right there.
Yeah, and this one here,
Because that's
that's
like
just
too
too little.
small of a sign right
That's too
there.
little. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I
but
feel like you have a good amount of space there to put a nice big sign. You're going to get rid of that container. Yeah, you definitely need to get rid of that container. I think it's
it's just,
horrible.
oh, it is. It's awful.
Yeah.
But
What's that container for?
he has stuff in there stored.
Mhm. A lot of
So
times too, so we're buying like the one that we're buying under the fund, he has like that owner has so much crap at his facility. Like he has like a bar, like ours is like has a barn full of stuff. He's got 2 units full of stuff. He's got a garage full of stuff, and he's got the upstairs apartment full of stuff. And so what we're doing is we're going to pay for somebody to move that stuff. Like for us, coming out of pocket, and we're going to put it right into capex. It's like just coming out of pocket to get all his stuff out of there, because he's like older, and like for him, I want to close on the facility just like you. Like I just want to close on this thing and own it. And like if I say, okay, you have till the end of the year to get everything out, like he ain't never going to get that stuff out because there's just too much, right? So for us personally, like Pete is like, we just need to pay somebody. He tells us where he wants us to put the stuff, and we're going to pay somebody to move there. And so this is something for everybody to keep in mind as well too, because a lot of times you'll buy these storage facilities and they do have a lot of stuff there, because they're just had them for 20 years and just collecting stuff and putting it in the storage. So and when you do see that, then you could just be like, all right, like I'm just going to pay for you to get this stuff. I'm going to pay somebody to get this stuff out of there.
good.
So
That's a
you
good
wanna just,
thinking out of the
if
box.
it ends up taking a long time to get it out, just say, look, where do you want this? It's going to cost me a couple $100. I'll just move it over to wherever you want it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just because
We bought a facility too that had a trailer just like you. And what we did is we told the lady, you have this much time to get that trailer out. But it was a guy. We told him you have this much time to get that trailer out. It was like a mobile home, just like yours. And then he never got it out. So we went through the whole auction process. And then we got permission to auction it off. He still never came and got it. And so then we put it on storageauctions.com and like auctioned it off just like personal property, because you could put like vehicles, whatever you want, on storageauctions.com. So we put the trailer on there, and we got so many people bidding on that trailer. We got so many people bidding on that trailer. And then finally it closed, and then the person that won the bid, he came and just moved that thing out, and it was gone.
Oh, wow. And that's,
Right.
and I'll tell you, one concern I have, this is the trailer here, right?
Mhm.
That
Actually, we're
property
in a
line
different picture. Yeah,
actually, the
yeah.
property line is actually right here. And this lady here owns this grass here. She gets very upset when people drive and she calls every week, oh, someone drove here. So, you know, we're just going to put up a fence so we don't annoy her. But this trailer has to get out. And what the owner told us, he's like, yeah, they have equipment nowadays that can just lift and move. And I'm
Yeah.
very concerned that they don't damage our buildings. And I know how, like, I would like to require that the lady living in the trailer who's buying it, that she had, the people who move it are licensed and insured. I want to require that. And I don't know how I can control who she chooses to move out with, you know, because I don't want damage to these buildings in the process of getting that
It's
out.
on your property. She owns that trailer or what?
No, the owner is selling her this trailer.
Yeah, so I mean, honestly, I would really like I would get that thing cleared up pretty quickly is what I would do. Yeah, because you don't want that thing to just be stuck there. So I would
No,
work it out, and I'm not sure how to really work it out, but I would work it out to get that thing out like
yeah, I
ASAP.
think August 24th is her date when she's going to be gone by. But my
Oh,
concern
okay.
is I don't want them damaging these buildings, moving that.
Actually, they don't. I'm gonna tell you, professional movers that move trailers, man, they know what they're doing.
Okay, and
They
I'm
really
hoping
does,
she has
because
a
like we
professional.
also had like a small space, and I was thinking like, how are they gonna get this trailer out of here? And they just like picked that thing up and just swung it around and took it out. And, like, I don't know how they did it, but they got it out. So like I wouldn't be more worried about that. I'd be more worried about getting her out. Because the one thing that they don't do is get out.
Okay, okay. Well, and in Tennessee, it's pretty easy to evict some, like, you know, it's just, you know, the attorney said, you know, just give her 30 days, she's got to be out, you know, you just like, that's that. You know, there's no
Mhm.
extensions in this and
Yeah,
that. and
hopefully,
other.
yeah. So hopefully it works out that way that she actually really does leave. Because we kept trying to get ours to get out. He just never, and finally we were just like, that's it, we're auctioning this stuff off. Because
Yeah.
that property right now, I mean, it's on your property.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, it is.
So,
Yeah.
okay, all
Yeah.
right. Well, I appreciate it. This is a great deal. I look forward to hearing about what you're gonna do with it. You know, so definitely keep us posted. Did anybody have any questions for Jennifer before we go on to Karen?
Yeah, I had a question. I was wondering if you had any of the square footage numbers from any of the demographics.
Um, you know, oh boy, at some point I did, you know, the population 6,083 and how many square footage of how many square foot of other storage facilities are in the area is what you're asking. I'm trying to remember. I don't know, Luther.
Well, you could look on the your competition sheet. Did you fill the entire competition sheet
Yeah.
out? Because on there it has the square footage.
Yeah,
You
and
know.
I
Why do
did.
you want to know, Luther? Just because you want to see if it's
Uh,
oversaturated or what?
yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah.
Um, and there's been a couple of deal analyzers like updated, and I don't remember if I got the competition onto this that's on my Google Drive. You know, I have other things that are on I don't have it on this. I have other things that are on my, my spreadsheet that I have saved in my spreadsheets. But yeah, that is a good question. And that's something that we're going to take a look at in our decision to, build more units right here versus buying another facility. But I can tell you, he has been full and he keeps a list he's like, I only keep this list for 10 days because things change. He does zero advertising. He's full. And when I called around to the other places, they were all full too, except for the one place that was new. And they were charging like twice the amount of what we are charging in the other places.
I gotcha.
So I don't know if really answers your question, but. kind of.
Well, yeah, I mean, if everyone's full, yeah, I mean, I just didn't know what the actual the demographic numbers were because it's just interesting to see, um, like where everyone's invested in, kind of,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
yeah.
yeah.
HJ is asking what your expenses are and if you're economically full versus physically full. Like,
Yes.
do you know those
Very
difference
good.
numbers?
Yeah. Good question. So, um, and this is part of the loosey-goosey way he runs things. He said, I have one guy who is 3 months late, but he always pays me 6 months in advance. And then he's from New York, he comes back into town and pays me the other, and so we have one situation that's like that, but he doesn't have any way people could pay online. It's just putting your check or your cash through a slot in the door. So I think that one who is late won't need to be late when we have the ability to pay online, either through our website or whether we do the storage.
Other than that, everybody else is up to date.
Yes.
Okay. And then what expenses are you, so basically you have property maintenance and marketing is really your two expenses. And
Well,
you don't know about software.
yeah, because I don't know what we're going to do. I don't think we're going to do the Cadillac $350 a month one, but storage has, or Storage Solutions has just different ranges of what you can do. And I have a meeting with her today to hear what that is. But I'll tell you, after we pay right now with what's listed here, after we pay our mortgage, we are pulling in $1,000 a month gross. That's before any taxes. So we do have some leeway to spend some money on some software, and other things that we might need to do.
Got it. Okay, good. Anything else? Any final questions? Okay. All right, well, definitely keep us posted. Congratulations. All right, and just hang in there. The first 90 days are the craziest.
Yes, yes.
Good job, Jennifer.
Yeah,
Thank
good
you.
job.
Good job.
Thank you very much.
Okay, cool, good. And she only, and how many, you didn't really, she didn't really talk to a lot of owners, honestly. You really didn't talk
Maybe
to a
a
lot.
dozen.
She really worked her owners. That's the one thing is like, it's like you call them and they say no, and then you're like, okay, fine, whatever. You're like, I'm never going to talk to you again. But she's very good at like, she also has a very personable, attitude or whatever. So people are just like, oh, I just want to talk to her and stuff. So that's key when you're talking to people like storage facility owners, because they really do just want to know, like, and trust you. And, and that's something.
Market.
Yeah, yeah. And that's something that like we're working with on our VAs because like, they're all from the Philippines. So they're all calling and people are just like, oh, like foreigner, I don't want to talk to this person, so we really work on phone skills because really when you're on the phone with somebody, they have to just trust your voice is really what it is and trust the energy that you give through the phone. And then if they trust that, then they're willing to maybe meet you and that's why a lot of times with our VAs when we talk to people like when the Filipinos talk to them on the phone, Chris is like, do they want to meet me or Stacy? So that's why I'm always constantly meeting with owners as well too. So we're really the first step, but then like if they feel you feel like there's a lead anytime at all, if you feel like, oh, maybe this person is open to meeting me, I would highly recommend if you're in that area to go meet them. Because I'm telling you, when you meet somebody face to face and they get to know you, and Luther's really good at this as well too, going out and meeting the owners and talking to the owners. They just really want to know, like, and trust you. They want to connect with you. You just have to keep that in mind. So like, for instance, like Corinne, I talked to you yesterday about all the deals you're doing. This is one thing I think would be really good for you as well too. Like in your area of like, the our area, really going out and talking to the owners and meeting the owners, because like you're just like, same boat as Jennifer, I think. You should definitely be able to find something with your area, just as long as you work those leads within an hour radius, and Sue and a lot of people here, but I know, I remember I talked to Corinne yesterday about it. So, okay, good.